I'm Elizabeth at A Literary Princess, and today I'm doing my November TBR. So I am actually taking it a little bit easier than I have been for the last few TBRs, mainly because I'm kind of burnt out after Victober. Like, I'm getting a little bit sick of Victorian literature, which is not great because that's my career. But anyway, so this month is going to be, first of all, Nonfiction November, which I will talk about those books first, and then finishing books that I am currently in the middle of because I have 3 of them, and then 1 book from my Victober TBR that I'm going to try to get to. And I think it's a total of maybe 7 or 8 books, so that's a lot less than what I've been doing lately, but it matches more with what I've actually been reading. So we will see what happens. Let's get going with the nonfiction. First up does not have a cover because it's a hardcover library book, and why would it have a cover? This is New Women, New Novels, Feminism and Early Modernism by Anne L. Artis. So this is for my popular Victorian women's literature list, the nonfiction section. I'm doing a lot of work with new women writers who are quickly becoming some of my favorites. Honestly, the Beth book by Sarah Grand, fantastic. So I have been reading a lot of nonfiction about them. This is yet another one. It's not too long. Should be fine. Next up are 2 that I'm not going to be reading in full. Just some essays out of them. This first one is Victorian Women Writers and the Woman Question. It is an edited collection by Nicola Diane Thompson. I have read a few out of here before, but I'm going to be reading a few more. Oh, this should be quite interesting. The essays are fairly short. It's a very slim volume, and I'm sure I will enjoy them. And another one that I am reading partial is The New 19th Century, Feminist Readings of Underread Victorian Fiction. This is another edited collection, edited by Barbara Leah Harmon and Susan Meyer. And again, I'm only reading some of these essays because some of these are about novels by men. I'm very excited for this one. I'm sure it'll be great. And then the last of my nonfiction November reads, and this one I am reading in full, is by an author I have read before and really enjoyed. This is On Lies, Secrets, and Silence, Selected Prose 1966 to 1978 by Adrienne Rich. I read her collection Blood, Bread, and Poetry earlier in the year, which is the collection of essays after this one, so I'm going backwards and reading her earlier essays. And I know there is a really great essay in here on Jane Eyre that I have used in a paper before, as well as a very famous essay on women writing called When We the Dead Awaken, I think. I act as if I can't look in the table of contents. It's right here. Yes, When We Did Awaken, Writing as Revision. And I know that I have read that one before in a theory class. So this is, again, a lot about feminism and the woman writer. There are lots of essays in here about individual women writers. I know there's one on Anne Bradstreet, one on Anne Sexton. Of course, there's the essay on Jane Eyre. And then also one on anti-feminist women. Interesting. There's one on Emily Dickinson. So I'm very interested to read this. I'm sure it's going to be great. Moving on to the books that I started in October or before, in some cases, in one case, and then didn't finish. First up is The Daughters of Danaus by Mona Caird. This is a new woman novel that I am reading for my popular Victorian women's literature list, and I started this in October as part of Victober, and I actually got over the halfway point and realized that I was like, none of it was like, it was going in one ear and out the other. I had literally absorbed nothing from this book. I had no idea what was going on. And so my options were to just continue skim reading it like that, or to go back to the beginning. And I weighed my options carefully on this, and I decided to go back to the beginning because I think this is actually going to be a book that I like a lot. And it would be a shame if I gave it 2 stars because I just skim read it because I was getting burned out. So I have gone back to the beginning. I am now 32 pages in, where I was 300 pages in before. But I am actually absorbing information and plot points now and learning about the characters, and I am enjoying it so far. And now for one that I have been reading since September, I think. Oops. I put this on break to do Victober, so I wasn't counting it as currently reading, so it did not appear in my October currently reading video. This is The Idiot by Elif Batuman. This focuses on a girl named Celine starting her first year at Harvard College, and I'm enjoying this so far. I don't know what's taking me so long. I am 170 pages in at the moment. Celine has been emailing back and forth with a classmate of hers, whose name I don't know. Oh, Ivan. Perfect. It was on the back. And I'm really enjoying this. It's just about a girl finding her place in the world, and during a very confusing time in life, which I relate so much to. Why haven't I finished it yet? Exam reading, and then I wanted to focus on Victober, so I set it aside, but now I'm going to finish it this month. It's going to be done. And next up is one that I am reading on audiobook through Libby. It is actually currently on hold for me right now because my loan ran out 3 or 4 times now. Oops. This is the Southern Book Club's Guide to Slaying Vampires by Grady Hendrix. I read My Best Friend's Exorcism in September through October and really enjoyed it, so I wanted to read another of Hendrix's books for spooky season, and I picked this one up. I am really enjoying it so far. I'm about 40% of the way through. The audiobook is narrated by Bonnie Turpin, who's doing a great job. It did take me a little while to get used to her voice, but I got there. And this is the story of Patricia Campbell, who is a housewife in Charleston, South Carolina, and a vampire moves in basically next door. It's great. I'm having a good time. I do want to finish it. The problem is my library, or this library. I have accounts with 2 libraries, and my other library loans out books for 21 days, which is a perfectly reasonable amount of time to read a book in. This library lends them out for 7 days. And I'm like, this book is 13 hours and 49 minutes. I'm not reading that in 7 days unless I'm just gonna do nothing all day except read or listen to the audiobook, which I'm not because I have other things to do. So that is why it's been taking me a while, but I do want to finish it in November. And then last up is one that I had on my Victober TBR. I had a lot of books on my Victober TBR, and there are a lot of them that I didn't get to, but I decided I'm only putting one on this November TBR because I actually would like a chance of finishing everything on the TBR. This is The Woodlanders by Thomas Hardy. It is one of his love stories that's like a love square from the sound of it. And it sounds like something I'll really enjoy. As you can see, I already have my little tabs in it. I just haven't actually started it yet. There's been several times I was going to, and then I decided that napping would be better. Sometimes you just gotta nap. But I do really want to get to this month. It is on my lists for my long 19th century list, so I do need to read it, and we're gonna get it done. Those are the books that I'm going to try to read this November. Let me know down in the comments below, have you read any of these? What did you think? What are you planning to read this month? It has been great chatting with you. I will see you soon. Bye.